Hi guys, I am in Hilo. First of all, I want to understand and say that I understand and thank you to the guidelines which I actually saw about how things need to pertain to David Hawkins, and that's most understandable. It's wonderful that Susan is still participating in the work that her husband did. I think there's probably a lot of good karma there. So, okay. I mean, just to be close to someone who is so the kind of person he is that we all know. So I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I didn't know when I first started watching David Hawkins. I guess this is how it pertains to that, and without becoming too egocentric and getting involved in myself too much, but just as a background for who I am. So when I write things, there will be some background on the person behind the words. I first discovered David Hawkins about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, about 4 years ago, 4 years ago, and it was at the same time as I was having a sort of nervous break. I was going through a lot of pain, and it was exacerbated by what I perceived to be outside circumstances, but the internal process was very real and close to home. So I basically at that time was watching Hawkins, and I was unable to get the context of what he was saying. I was only focused on the content because for whatever reason I was in some kind of state where I was like super zoomed in and laser focused on a single point of observation. So I would hear all of the messages in his speech, and at the time I was also studying hypnosis, and I was hearing things like embedded commands. I was watching his body language and what they call anchoring. If anybody is familiar with it, you can see it. It's, I believe now with a new perspective that it's a part of everyone's speech, but when you're really focused on one thing, you tend to find out what you're looking for. So I became a little bit paranoid. I definitely didn't take his teachings in a positive way when I first saw them. It made me, but it wasn't the only factor. It was just in my life, and whatever it was caused me to become very paranoid, and I amputated one of my digits. Why did I do that? So I guess the karmic effect of that is pretty substantial, maybe. It's one reason why I'm so focused right now on the opposite. It's almost like I went very far into the dark, and one thing that I hope is that by pursuing the path that I'm on, I can cancel out some of the negativity that happens when you hurt yourself. I have dreams sometimes, very vivid dreams, where I see symbols and things that remind me of that action that I took. So it's a little bit depressing sometimes to worry about the fate of the destiny of my soul, etheric body, all that, whatever remains after the physical body dies. So basically I struggled with some form of psychosis. I was diagnosed with some kind of bipolar related disorder, and I'm doing much better now. I'm involved in service to others. I don't have any of those perceptions. It was really perceptions that led up to that, but as you can see, it's not there. So I guess it's a perfect 3 fingers, four fingers. But I look at it sometimes and I think to myself, how could I have done that? And I don't know how, because I'm not the kind of person that I was then that I am now. So I wanted to leave it open if anyone wants to talk about that. I mean, I know it seems very disheartening and strange to imagine someone being in a state where they could do something like that, but what are some of the ramifications, I wonder? I want to know. And you know, was there some kind of luciferic or satanic energy that was dominating my consciousness? Whatever attractor field I was in, I was very influenced by a lot of rap music at the time. I don't really listen to it anymore. Eminem, you know, if you watch that movie that music video 3 a.m., it was the kind of thing that I was watching at the time. I don't place blame on anybody, but I think that being in a very suggestible state kind of allowed for those possibilities to manifest. So, yeah, my story is basically one of a certain kind of mental illness, and it seems like a shadow from the past, and I never intended to harm anyone. I never harmed anyone, but I did a pretty awful thing to myself. And I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with that. There was a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of feeling like I had to repent for something that I or my family had done. I wanted to tell this to the group and get my story out there a little bit. And I thank you for taking the time to watch it. If there's any feedback, I would be really happy to hear about it. So continue on the pathway, and hopefully you don't have to go through that. I don't think you will. I think we're evolving into a much brighter society. So, okay, namaste.